Apple patched it. When taking a screenshot, the image no longer auto-resizes when you click into it. So notice how on the left it kind of shrinks down. That no longer happens. It's in the perfect ratio to begin with. In the Photos app, when you open up all photos, the default view or grid layout is now 3 blocks wide. Before it'd be more and a little disorienting. Of course, you can always zoom out and see more, but the default one is now 3 wide. Also in Photos, something not new to this version, but generally new to iOS 13, is that in the year blocks, you can actually slide and get a little randomized jumble of the photos throughout the year. Very nice feature. Also not new to beta 7, but one definitely worth mentioning is if you have a consecutive amount of live photos and you 3D touch on one, it'll play them all like a video until you get to the end. That is seriously cool. The share sheet now loads faster on beta 7, especially on older devices, and the more actual plugins, third-party apps you have, it no longer affects it speed-wise. In the home wallpaper, a very unexpected change is that Apple has returned the old wallpapers here, the 3 gradients, alongside the new ones. So this is a trend that I hope they continue with the stock settings wallpapers. Let's see. And from beta 6 in the home app, switches have a new look, a nice juicy button here, more clickable. A very strange one is in the weather app, 3D touching on a weather prompt no longer brings up a little preview. Instead it goes right to transfer mode where you can move it around. Before you'd have to drag that preview around and then go into that mode. So I don't know why they just changed that, but yeah, that's different. In the Shortcuts app, when opening it for the first time, the splash screen no longer mentions anything about automations. Could this be a bad sign that Apple will not be returning it anytime soon? And another fundamental change with 3D Touch in beta 7, for example in App Store, the preview windows seem to be bigger everywhere, system-wide. And also when you click on them, you no longer get this drawn out animation, it's instant. You jump right into what you were looking at. And the same goes for in the Messages app. For example, here's a peak version. You click on it, you jump right in. No longer has a weird animation where it kind of draws out and then goes in. And in the Health app, high heart rate notifications now appear up top, very visually separated to let you know that, yeah, something may be wrong with you. App has been made slimmer here, not only here, but in the new shortcut page as well. In the private browsing mode of Safari, the top bar is now dark, where before it was a little translucent. And in Safari from beta 6, if you try and open more than 500 tabs, you get this pop-up here asking you to close some older tabs in order to accommodate that. Within settings, in the control center toggle settings, dark appearance is now dark mode in here as well. In the wallpaper settings, dark appearance dims wallpaper now works once again, except not like it did before. Now instead of making it more contrasted, it just darkens the image slightly, which is not as much of a visual change, but it's there. And dynamic wallpapers no longer have the blanked out icons. You can now see the previews once again. In the location settings, privacy alerts is now location alerts with no change on the inside. And within many app settings, there's now a tab for location. So this has been added to many of the third-party and system stock apps where you can adjust location directly from within the settings. Within the mail settings, ignore blocked senders is now blocked sender options, where it now gives you more than one way to deal with blocked senders. In the phone settings, in the silence unknown callers section, there's a new description letting you know that incoming calls will continue to ring from people in your contacts, recent outgoing calls, and Siri suggestions. From earlier, certain albums will have this badge here, Apple Digital Master, letting you know that it's been mastered for iTunes directly from within the app. Also added in the last beta is the ability to listen to local radio stations directly from within the music application. Just search and you should be able to find them. In the Watch app, in the App Store section, the splash screen has been updated, made easier to read. And after updating to the latest watchOS beta, on your Apple Watch you have the latest Find My app, except here it's called Find People. Also, Do Not Disturb will properly sync now between your Apple Watch and your iPhone. So no longer is there a discrepancy on both as long as they're both updated to the latest betas. Also within the code on beta 7, Apple is continuing a long-standing tradition of leaking stuff within iOS. The latest one is an image called Hold for Release, and it shows a September 10th release date. So this is basically telling us the iPhone 11 will be released on September 10th as has been predicted. And within Test Flight, there's a new share feedback screen which shows you how to take a screenshot and share it with a developer for feedback. And now within certain apps, you can sign in with Apple. That's one of the most convenient things about iOS 13 and is available for testing now. And lastly, here's the Geekbench score. So improved multi over the last beta. The biggest change here is the 3D Touch, which is more responsive, not only on the home screen, within messages, pretty much anywhere you can invoke it. Overall, I'm so happy where iOS 13 has gotten on a refinement scale. We're less than a month away. Keep you updated on any of the changes, but mostly everything that we've seen has been established here. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.